What I really thought was really profound, and also what God did, was that, bringing two prophets together, because many people use the word, like I said, I want to paraphrase it, right? They call themselves a prophet, but it's so general. The Lord said, in 30 days, I'm going to turn your situation around. But it's nothing detailed about what a person. I've heard him prophesy to people, and I've heard him minister and share people's current situations, jobs, or what they were dealing with in their families, and you can see the results, and then they come back with testimonies saying, Bishop, you prophesied this to me 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. This is what I have as a result. I know you're a prophet. And as he shared this, what people have done with me, and it's amazing to hear that, because you just hear people going, well, I'm a prophetess and I'm a prophet, but when you study their history, you don't really see much where they have really detailed. That's what a lot of people say. I appreciate what God is speaking through you, because you're sharing something that I know you couldn't say. And that's what I can say about him. I've heard him minister, and I'm saying, okay, this is not just general. This is really God speaking to him about this person, about these people. And then not only that, what's even more powerful is the results of the word of the Lord that comes. So I thank God for not God just giving me a general prophet, somebody that's hoping that they get you something, and they hope that you scream, and they hope that it's something authentic about his ministry. And I believe God really brought us together for that. So it's really awesome.
And I appreciate that. As a matter of fact, that was one of the pre-qualifiers to her coming to this church. Sure. I believe, again, for the people in this house, that you just don't bring in anybody just because they preach all over, or they preach in certain churches. Absolutely. And they got a name. They got to have a true authenticity. It's almost like going to one restaurant and tasting a Coke, it's very good, and then go to another one, it's watered down. Mm-hmm. And you don't like that watered down stuff. You want that thing that makes you feel like, oh, it's right here, it's working. You got it. And when I was reaching out to her ministry personally, I said, now, it says that there's signs and wonders and all these kind of things, but let me just ask you a personal question. Mm-hmm. What do you believe about you? She said, well, let me just give you the pastors and people in the church have consistently saw the word of the Lord come to pass, and it meant a lot. Because we just don't bring people to the prophet's house because they can preach, or they got a beginner's gift. Because one thing for sure, the people here, they know a true prophet. So when they hear it, and certainly they don't want to be messed over it. And I know there are countless, hundreds of thousands, and even millions of people that wish they had the ability to trust in a true prophet. I was reminded of the woman who had even built a room for the prophet, has never asked for a word, but just knew that he was a prophet. And she gave a word. He gave a word to her that was so profound. She said, don't lie to me. Mm-hmm. Because there's such a spirit now that what God wants to do is so much bigger than what we've ever thought he would do. It takes an accurate prophet to be able to announce that, and to share that, and to birth that, so people don't feel played over. Because a year later, if this person is not holding a child, they feel like leaving the church. Because why stay in another year when you believed God for a whole year and didn't come to pass?
Exactly.
And we see the fruit of the labor sometimes even before she gets done with revival. We had one testimony, many of them came through, but one of them out of revival that I was so blessed by recently. The woman was just sewing at the church, giving the offering, went to her bank account, and unexpected money came. That was one of the testimonies that were quite profound. We don't hear that much. There's a lot of people
going to the bank account, whoop. And what I like what she said, they said it was some nice money.
Ain't no little money. It was
some nice money.
Nice money that was there. That was a blessing. And then we hear the testimonies each week. We had one of the great ones, a man of God came and gave, and I told him, I said, you're getting ready to have your own business. And sure enough, his business was shutting down, but the business that he was in sold the business to him. Mm-hmm. And not just sold it, but gave it to him. But sold him a $40,000 vehicle for less than $1,100.
That was powerful.
And the word of the Lord came just a couple of weeks earlier. And that's why people enjoy the prophet's house, because the word is accurate. They can trust it. They can believe it.
And I enjoy hearing anybody can tell you, and that's me. So everybody listen to this and say, okay, I'm not one that likes to really go. I'm not one that goes to hear a lot of other people. I don't do that, because I really am concerned about the spirit that I'm hearing, and I don't have time to dissect and figure out what's really going on. So I really don't like to go hear a lot of people. But when I hear him minister, I enjoy it. So it speaks volumes to people that personally know me, that when I say that I really enjoy his ministry, the times that I have been able to be here and hear him minister, it has really ministered to me, the word of the Lord, whether it be just by, this is the word of the Lord, and him, the way he breaks down the text and really brings signs and wonders and the revelation out of it, blesses me. And to hear him say it. Well, this is another thing I want to bring out too. A lot of times, both of us coming out of things, people would say, well, why would both of you all want to be back with ministers? Because, you and the reason why I want to say, you need someone that really understands ministry. Just because you work in a church, or you're an administrator of a church, or you are you've been a strong deacon in the church for several years, or you've been a strong missionary in the church, whatever. It takes someone that's been, we could talk about pastoral things together, because I walked in that, and so there are times that I can really be sensitive to things that he's sharing with, because I've been there. Him being a prophet, me being a prophet, we share those things. So it's so many things sharing with, and I'm sure he's been there talking to someone that really has not experienced those things. You trying to bring them up at a level, and that can be draining
and frustrating
and very frustrating. You don't understand this, but church. And what people don't realize is a person in the pew can be a wonderful person, but not just wonderful for you.
Sure.
Maybe wonderful for somebody else. Sure. But at the level that we're going and what God is doing for us, we just couldn't be with just anybody. It really needed to be people, what you just said, that had a powerful ministry that God has handcrafted, anointed, so that we can really, and that's what really helps us, even in our relationship, is really being able to say, honey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And not trying to help somebody else understand what we're trying to say.
They can catch it.
Exactly.
Easy.
Exactly. And, the beauty of what she's saying to me is, before I sometimes say it, not only does she has it, but she's been praying about it. So as soon as I bring it up, she's like, honey, that's been in my spirit. I've been praying about it a couple of days. Or, she'll say to me while she was away, let me just talk to you about this, because I think this is something that's going to be on your heart in the future. This is how I think it will bless your life. And I never forget one day, she was out of town, and there was a moment in my life that I really needed some encouragement about something. And I got up Sunday morning, I was driving to church, and she had left a voicemail on my phone. And the voicemail was, I'm just here to encourage, to celebrate, to be excited with you about the things that are happening today, because it's totally going to change things. And she was speaking this. And then she called, and I called her to thank her about the voicemail. And I was pulling up for 5 a.m. morning prayer. And she said, now let me just pray with you today and bless you. As she began to pray and bless the day, before I came to the 5 a.m. morning prayer, she spoke some things that were over the day, and exactly what she was saying. Now, this is far. Matter of fact, you were in San Diego.
Yes, San Diego,
California. As she began to pray that day, she was praying some things that were just going throughout the day. And, behind the scenes, because, I come out of the pulpit and I come in here, I get my phone, I call, we check on each other. She calls back and says how things are going. Even when she's gone, she's concerned about how things are coming here. Even while she's gone, I'm like, how are things? Did you get a chance to eat today? Was there enough water? How are things coming? And she'll give them update. And we're almost as close apart as we are together, because we don't lose much. Just the physical body, but in the spirit we're still one, in mind and heart and in purpose. And that's what we celebrate, because the core, the epicenter of our life is really rooted in Christ.
And really there. You can sense and you can feel that your togetherness. And that's another thing I want to say, as being a member of Global Destiny in the Prophet's house, that you and your presence has really healed the house.
Yes.
And I just want to say thank you from the house, because your presence, the togetherness that you guys have, it has brought healing to definitely my wife and I's marriage and other marriages that are there. So I just want to say thank you to the both of you for that.